Hello, welcome back to the Academy Crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are back with another banger Pulsechain video, giving us the latest and greatest of crypto news, and more specifically in this video about PDAI. What's the latest updates that you need to know to get up to speed with this narrative? Is it even a bullish narrative anymore? We're going to get that question answered by the end of this video, so watch the whole video through. We're going to talk about the latest theories, if there's even a roadmap, what's going on with the Atropa ecosystem, what's going on with the XUSD team, what does this all mean? Is PDAI dead without the P maker protocol that, of course, that we triggered the ESM through the XUSD team with KT and surfacing? We're going to talk about that in depth today. But before we jump into that, I just want to say a quick thank you to you guys for literally watching my videos and commenting down below. Big shout out to you guys, and of course to the highlighted comments here. It says Pulse speaks, great video, thank you very much. And here from Heart with Dog, big shout out to them. It says we can only hope to just have some fun and laughs until ISM hits 52 or above, and Ethereum cracks 45,000, then the party really begins. And that's very true. And guys, I am very excited to talk more about what's coming to PulseChain, which is extremely exciting, in the next video. This video I'm going to keep it focused on the PDAI news. So again, put that notification bell on. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, and of course give this video a like, comment down below. It helps boost this video to people who are crypto viewers but don't know about PulseChain. It really does help. And of course here too, Steve says waiting game. Exactly, Bitcoin bulls, then Ethereum, then Pulse assets. Simple, right? This is like a flow chart. We need the influx of money that comes from institutional investors, from the real world, from stock market, whatever. It goes into Bitcoin, and then of course Bitcoin has its own run. There's a small delay. Ethereum recovers. Hopefully we see ETH start recovering soon, and then there's a small delay. Goes to altcoins, which of course PulseChain is under that category, but even better because we're cycle one, baby. You guys already know the fact that we're cycle one. That means we have the highest growth potential, unlike Ethereum, unlike Bitcoin, because of course with every bull you get more and more diminishing returns. Okay, so that's obviously for another story. But big shout out to all the YouTube members who are choosing to support my small channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. It's been a pleasure making these videos for you guys for such a long time in PulseChain. I feel like an OG, but you know what? I'm still learning new stuff every single week, and I can't wait to keep sharing them with you guys. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the journey. It's been enriching, both financially and mentally. And there's even a Wilson law, which basically says, to summarize it, knowledge is the precursor of making money. That's for another video, but let's jump into it with the latest. Oh, actually, I wanted to talk about the comment about ISM. What is ISM? It's a very good question. Thank you for asking. ISM, I think, is another way of saying it, is the PMI, which is the Purchasing Managers Index, which basically tries to measure, now it's kind of like global liquidity, but in another scope. It tries to measure 300 manufacturing companies in general, and basically they try to see the purchasing, Purchasing Managers Index. And effectively, if the number is greater than 50, usually that indicates the economy is expanding. If the number is less than 50, that also means the economy is contracting. Okay, so if you think about the business cycle, business cycle, debt cycle, global liquidity, M2 money supply, they are all intertwined. Hey, even the Bitcoin halving cycle, they're all intertwined. These are all factors that plays into it. So it's pretty cool how we even have now geopolitics as well. It's crazy. It's kind of like a sine wave as well, guys. It's cyclical. It seems like it's really in 4-year cycles, and the fact that the Bitcoin halving is just kind of the cherry on top, but it's not really the cause. It's kind of the effect, or a coincidence that Bitcoin is kind of aligned with this. But anyways, that's for another video. We're going to jump straight into the PDAI news. First of all, looking at the charts today, PDAI is a little bit down. A lot of people are the sentiments, they're bearish. Okay, and guys, in terms of a sentimental analysis, usually this is a good thing, because of course you want to be a contrarian within those narratives, and I'm telling you, holding PDAI right now is high risk. I'm gonna say that straight up to you guys, because of course I'm not a financial advisor. I never said you're gonna make money. Nothing's guaranteed. This is crypto. Okay, every project has an element of risk. Every project. Okay, but in terms of PDAI here, it feels as uncertain to hold it as all the way back in end of 2023. Okay, because this is actually where I started buying in. Like, this was my entry price right here, like December of 2023. So I'm actually still up. It's crazy. Even at these lows, I'm actually still up from back then. And we witnessed amazing 2 mini altcoin seasons here, where it went up 40x, and then it went up here by 26x. Will we see kind of the same thing happen in the next leg up in general? Okay, so this is why I created this box in the top right corner here. Now, kind of just using pattern recognition with Fibonacci extensions, looking at these numbers here, 233, 233, and just looking at, okay, from one top to another, one all-time high to another, what's the gap, and then trying to find out what's the range. So yeah, this box right here, it's from the end of June all the way to the beginning of August. That's my yellow box here. And in terms of, the low point is, of course, back to all-time high at 3.4 cents, or back to the 361% Fibonacci level, which is around 10 cents. And I've actually already been saying this to people, that the next leg up could take us to 9 to 10 cents PDAI. Okay, and do you know what's crazy, by the way? Back when we were at the all-time high of 3 cents, there was still a lot of people who were hating on PDAI. Do you know what they were saying? They were saying, oh, it's just a 33x opportunity. Why you guys are making a big deal out of it? It's crazy. But let me tell you, now PDAI has even less liquidity than ever. It's crazy that it's gone through this same, phase that INC has gone through, which is, going through this Bitcoin halving, where obviously Richard Hart manually reduced the inflation of or cut the inflation rate of INC, so that people are disincentivized to provide liquidity. And of course, he did this on purpose, because he talked about this previously, like way before PulseChain even launched. He said the best time to buy is when liquidity is low. Okay, when liquidity is low, it's easier for the pumponomics to happen effectively, because liquidity is kind of like a weight factor. The more that you have of, yes, is great, because it's going to sustain the price like a cushion effect, right? But at the same time, it's going to require more money to move up. It's going to be less volatile, right? But we are in that growth phase of PulseChain, where we actually want to be more volatile, which is of course kind of a downside for us, because now if we go down, we actually go really down. But I'm telling you, in the next leg up, guys, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And it's crazy that, PDAI has gone through it. Notice how Richard Hart, when he was talking about PDAI, and which, by the way, he tweeted around like 34 times or 33 times about PDAI. It's crazy. There's even a meme that he made about. We're going to quickly try to show it right here. This is one of the images that he tweeted. Now, you guys have probably seen this multiple times, how, there's 9 eyes in this picture right here, with the 9th eye in the bottom right. You guys can see that right there with Richard Hart, which, by the way, why would you put your name in the image where it's the extractor? And then what's this weird looking hat thing that's, at the monitor here, that looks kind of like a hat, which, by the way, a hat is terminology within the maker, where it's kind of like the one who is the owner of the DS Chef contract, I believe. And then, yeah, you have as well, like, people zooming in into this. You can kind of see this I, the Roman I, and then V, which is 4, because it's 1 minus 5. And then you have 1 here, and then IV again. That equals 4 and 4. Is that an Atropa reference? Why does he put his name there? Why is there 9 eyes in this whole picture? And why is, if you kind of trace a line, you can see P, lowercase p, capital DAI, PDAI. Does that spell PDAI? There's a lot of like conspiracy tinfoil hat theories that people can throw about. It is, some of them are entertaining. Don't get me wrong. PulseChain is one of the most entertaining chains to be in. And guys, you gotta acknowledge this. Even if you hate PDAI, you're watching this video, you just want to make sure that you really, this PDAI stuff doesn't make sense, right? You're just watching it for that reason. I just want to say, you just have to acknowledge and give respect to PDAI for being a successful onboarding narrative. Because in 2024, guys, I've had a lot of people reach out to me who are new to PulseChain, and let me tell you, who have never owned a self-custodial wallet, just because and they're coming from centralized exchange or even stock market, and they're like, oh yeah, I want to enter the world of PulseChain because of PDAI. It's crazy. So it's, whether you agree with it right now, whether it's still high risk, of course it is, right? But it is truly one of the most unique narratives, not only within PulseChain, but within crypto, this whole cycle that we've seen so far. You know what I mean? Like, and remember, we are in a stablecoin bull run as well. So we'll see how only time can tell. In terms of the unknowns of PDAI. Is there something being worked in the background? We're going to talk about those theories right now. Effectively, can INC become have a role within the PDAI system? We shall see. And of course, the fact that PDAI is still alive, by the way, so you can still burn it and mint it, but you can't use the P maker system because that one is really dead. So is there going to be some type of integration for a replacement for the P maker? We shall see. Okay, but in other news, one of the latest tweets here from Richard Hart, we're going to cover here. It says, many learned the hard way why the blockchain is so important. Exchanges can screw you for money because they're not well functioning. And that's a misspelling. Code on the blockchain. People you bet with cannot pay you because the bet's not well functioning code blockchain. People often guys, apologies, this is midnight. People extremely often don't do what they say they're doing. PulseChain lets people remove the need for trust and introduce security by being a decentralized, immutable, another misspelling, source of truth. The blockchain saves best those that actually use it, especially for things that don't even require an oracle. We're going to talk about that in a second. Computing about data totally on chain already, as that wouldn't require an oracle. Guys, is it something? I swear to God, was he also tweeting in midnight? Because he's also tripping with his grammar. It might just be me with my reading right now. But what's crazy is that the misspellings that you can see here, and big shout out to Freedom707, says, the misspellings were CN and then PO and IA, and actually, if you reorder those letters, it spells a P coin, as in a P copy. Could be a P stable. Could be PDAI, PUSDC, PSDT, PHEX. Hey, PHEX is also PRC20. Don't get that mistaken. So, what is he talking about? You know what I mean? Like Richard Hart, man, I swear to God, with the whole meme thing, with the whole, don't buy PDAI, but he never said sell PDAI. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It really is crazy. Sometimes he's like unserious. He tweets 33 times about PDAI, where 33 is his favorite number. What's going on? Moving on here from Dirty Crypto. Big shout out to him, by the way. Great source of information. Go follow him on Twitter if you haven't. And here he says, isn't it interesting how someone intelligent like the Atropa, by the way, he's doxed, right? Maria, acts really weird. We have seen him live stream Scientology multiple times, pull all liquidity pools, sell and say he will buy back at a loss. I'll show that screenshot in a second. He has blamed Somi, which obviously, like, he's tripping big time. Mentioned someone's stealing his family's rifle. Yep, what a time to be alive, bro. Yeah, that's crazy. Bridged away and say he's moving to another chain. PulseChain and PDAI bros, I want to ask you a hypothetical question. What would you do if this is all just theater? What would you do if PDAI has utility and is deflationary? What would you do if we see him bridge back and buy at a loss, quote unquote? Because that's exactly what he said. Get ready for my next post. Going to give you guys the alpha. So before we get into that post that he referenced there, we're going to jump on to a tweet here from PulseChain Network. Big shout out to him as well. Guys, go follow them both, Dirty Crypto and PulseChain Network. And here it says, what if a stablecoin didn't need oracles at all? Because remember, Richard Hart mentioned this in that tweet with the spelling mistakes. And here it says, PulseChain might be quietly building one. And if it works, it would be the most trustless form of DeFi. So not only because we have a stablecoin with no admin keys, and a stablecoin that's algorithmically backed with no bank accounts, but also because it doesn't require oracles. I swear to God, I've never had this thought come across. Wow, wow, wow. This is a crazy theory, guys. So we shall see. Because remember, by the way, the people who, with the KT and surfacing team, they were paid. Guys, they were given, they were provided the P maker required to actually call the ESM.trigger. Oh, was it ESM.trigger? Or was it ESM dot cage function, which then calls the dot, I think, yeah, then calls the cage and all of the other, the VAT, the vow, etc. Like they were paid 500k. Yes, that was the bounty. Like, so 500k. But who was it from? Was it from Maria? It's still kind of unknown, but they were paid to do this. Okay, so we shall see. And here, it might be actually, and if it works, it would be the most trustless form of DeFi we've ever seen. Let's talk about what could be the first Oracle-free stablecoin, possibly PDAI, or even something hidden as a P coin. That reference to his tweet. Here's how it might work. Number one, trustless systems shouldn't need external data, but most stablecoins today, such as DAI, USDC, LUSD, rely on Oracle to fetch USD prices. An example would be Chainlink. A problem: oracles are a central point of failure. If the feed breaks, the peg dies, and that's very, very true. That's like the life supply, right? Or that's like oxygen. They need oxygen to breathe, to reply back and be like, oh, hey, how are you? You know what I mean? Like to actually breathe and stay alive. And here it says the DeFi dream: peg a coin to $1 without any oracles. Not by trusting a feed, but by building a system where the market forces to do the work. And yes, it's theoretically possible. Mechanism A, bonding curve plus arbitrage, is kind of, reminds me of PWBTC. Because I was asking around, I said, okay, how does PWBC, oh sorry, not PWBC, wrapped Bitcoin in general, how does it stay one-to-one with the real Bitcoin price? And the answer, as I dug into it and I asked a few people, there is no oracle. It literally is just purely from arbitrage. If the price is cheaper, people are just going to buy that from the exchange, bridge it over to another exchange, and then sell it. It's arbitrage. Do you mean? Like if the price is even higher, people are going to bridge in with real Bitcoin, for example. It's going to give them the equivalent one-to-one, but the price tag is more expensive in that chain. They're going to sell it to stablecoins. And then obviously it's going to go back to the LPs, etc. And that's the whole back and forth. It's an arbitrage process. So to be fair with you, we actually don't need no oracles. So this mechanism perfectly covers it. The stablecoin example, PDAI, is linked to another token, PulseX, or a new governance token. Could be INC. We're going to talk about that in a second. Through a bonding curve. The curve reacts to supply and demand. If price is less than 1, arbitragers buy cheap and redeem for more. If price is greater than 1, they mint and sell. Peg stability without price feed. Mechanism B, algorithmic incentives. And when price drops below $1, minting is rewarded or supply is reduced. If price exceeds $1, minting becomes more expensive or rewards are paused. Everything is governed by on-chain logic. No oracles, just math. And this is my favorite mechanism here. Mechanism C, internal price sensing via DEX data. Smart contracts read PulseX liquidity pools, through the PulseX routers. There's a V1, V2 router here, such as PDAI/Pulse. Those are the LP pairs. They're computing a rolling average of time-weighted. I forgot this the other word. Time-weighted average price, TWAP, like estimate of market value. This synthetic oracle exists entirely on chain. Number 6, why Pulsechain is the ideal place for this? That's a very good question. So let's see what he says here. PulseX, built-in AMM, automated market maker infrastructure. PDAI, unpegged test candidate. Full Ethereum compatibility, proven code base, community values immutability and trustless design. It's the perfect DeFi sandbox. So what's with a P coin? Some believed Richard Hart hid an Easter egg in a tweet by deliberately misspelling the words. A P coin, is it PDAI? It's a new PulseChain narrative oracle. Is it a new PulseChain narrative oracle free stablecoin? is the future hiding in plain sight? You decide. Why this matters. Most stablecoins are Oracle dependent, centralized, or upgradable, vulnerable to external censorship or failure. An Oracle-free model is autonomous, trustless, censorship-resistant, DeFi native. It's not just an upgrade, it's a philosophical return to what crypto was meant to be. Ooh, that one is a strong statement. Wow, like that one, that can give people goosebumps, bro. It's a philosophical return to what crypto was meant to be, bro. PulseChain. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Welcome to PulseChain. PDAI may be the live experiment. It's currently not pegged. That might be by design. A future bonding curve, arbitrage logic, or incentive layer could be added. Once it works, we may see the birth of the first stablecoin that doesn't need to ask, what is the price of $1? I just had a phone notification from Richard Hart tweet calling Joe Rogan. Anyways, it goes, it just knows through design. Final thoughts. If PulseChain pulls this off, it could redefine what stablecoin is. A self-pegging Oracle-free on-chain stable asset is DeFi's holy grail. And it may already be here, just waiting for us to notice. So big shout out to you for that amazing tweet. And moving on here from another tweet from Next Plague. Big shout out to you for kind of visualizing this and putting it into kind of text form. And he says, what if INC token could be used in the redeployed PMaker governance protocol? Just an idea, but to think about it. INC is technically a DAO token. Not a lot of people know this, but yes. It hadn't had a use case for the past 2 years. Richard Hart doesn't hold any publicly. That's true. The OA wallets, which technically OA wallets is not really Richard Hart, by the way. So there's that. It was distributed to early farmers within the community. New farmers are being diluted as inflation dropped from 1 INC per second to... Whoa. Richard Hart just tweeted, says, should I record a video right now? Jeez, bro. All right, he goes here from 1 INC per second to 0.03 INC a second. Holy smokes, man. PDAI could become the first stablecoin governed fully by the community. Is it technically possible, but worth it? Question mark. So pretty cool stuff. Okay. Now, this is a reminder to Atropa when he mentioned buyback at a loss. Big shout out to Coexist Steven. He says, isn't it interesting how all the people who FUD Maria and the Atropa ecosystem cherry pick like CNN, sound bites, information to support their ideas. But this is a reminder from what Maria, the dev, said himself. I took a leverage position on wrapped Ethereum because the potential exploitations, ongoing specifics of mint numbers. And here it says, if everything works out positively, I will buy back in at a loss. So we shall see. We shall see. He's already a Dexed dev. He's kind of proven his benevolence, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Yes, even though a lot of people will say, oh, he didn't verify his contracts. You know what I mean? He still burnt 3 billion PDAI, right? And he was able to probably sell that. He literally renounced the Atropa contract down the line. Yes, he didn't verify it, but he did renounce it. So he's no longer the owner of that contract. And again, like, nobody really forced him to do so. Teddy Bear is also renounced. He later as well, I think a month and a half ago, probably, or a month ago, he renounced T-bill. So T-bill now he cannot mint it. If I'm correct. So yeah. Anyways, and he also doxed himself. He spoke in the PulseChain tour. We know his full name. We know kind of roughly where he lives. I think he's in Kentucky, if he's not even there now, but kind of like his hometown. It's very crazy if he really like kind of rugged PulseChain. I do believe that this is probably all, as the person mentioned, it's all theater, as Dirty Crypto mentioned. It does feel orchestrated, guys. I'll be 100% real with you. Now, of course, I'm not going to tell you, oh, it's a buying opportunity. Unless you see it that way, because I see it that way. But for me, that's just me. Who am I? I don't have a crystal ball. I just like to believe in something, and that's it. I don't have the answers, guys. Okay, that's the whole part of the crypto game. If you want to wait until you have all the answers, it's going to be too late. Okay, so yeah, if you want to play in a playground that has 100% certainty, go back to the stock market, because if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Leave it for people like us. So yeah, moving on to now the long ass tweet from Dirty Crypto here. Now I'm not gonna fully read it. I'm gonna kind of summarize what he talks about here. One of the things actually that he covers, and I'm gonna quickly go show you guys to that screenshot from Hodlonomics here. It goes, oh, look at the witch trying to convince you that she's benevolent. Sorry, witch Katie, you already full clipped $1 million sale to pump your shoot coins and your ecosystem. Nobody trusts a damn thing you say anymore. You messed up. If you wanted to keep your grift going, you should have never full clipped over 1 million in a single sell, while giving thousands of people a collective heart attack to pump your shoot coin ecosystem that nobody cares about. Nobody cares about XUSD. Nobody cares about Atropa. I do. Nobody cares about Maria. You know, I kind of do, but not in that way, in terms of I want to stay up to date with Maria. People care about PDAI. Yes, I do. And I trust the protocol. I'll just be here to make sure ain't nobody buys a single bit of your BS ever again. Whatever happened to your lie about P stable parity? That grift is already over, and now you are trying to get more people wrecked with your insider scum. Better banking rug. The P stables are great parity. Laughing my ass off. Anyways, okay. So this is the screenshot. This is what she had to say. And by the way, there's another screenshot of Katie. To be fair to Hodlonomics as well, that she literally goes, one of the biggest regrets was not dumping PDAI to zero. Like, I was like, what? Like, I was actually in shock the fact that she genuinely said that. It does seem genuinely, guys, that Katie, one day you might catch her being positive and bullish about PDAI. The other day is like, oh, she's being like, oh, PDAI is a mistake. You guys are stupid for believing in this. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, what are you trying to, it's very inconsistent. So honestly, guys, I try to just stay away from all of this. I don't need to catch up with every single news that happens about PDAI, every single, do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to end up exhausting yourself. I've already made my decision of just holding this token, okay? By the end of 2025, in Q4 of 2025, that's where I'm going to decide, okay, if we're not back up, in a good level in terms of retracement or making higher highs, then I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, it was an incorrect investment decision. But at times like these, guys, where it's already at the lows, where everything else is down minus 90%, everything else. So I can't really judge that I shouldn't hold PDAI. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of noise going on right now. It's very highly volatile, but at the same time, it's high depression. Everyone's in denial. PDAI is dead. PDAI is so crap. Do you know what I mean? Like, PulseChain is, even people, guys, saying PulseChain is literally dead. And it's crazy. Like, guys, Ethereum, and we're talking Ethereum, the blockchain that innovated the whole crypto industry, looks dead. Right? But if PDAI was how it looks right now and Ethereum's at 5K, that would be a whole different story. So let me tell you, if you're ever in doubt, zoom out, delay your gratification for a little bit, realize that all these, even news articles, guys, they can be considered as noise. Right now, we're noisy, guys. It's really, really noisy. Okay? So the best thing to do is absolutely nothing. The best investors are great at doing nothing for long periods of time, right? Followed by, accounts that people forgot their password / seed phrase, because of course they actually physically cannot sell, or dead people's accounts, because obviously nobody can sell. So you know what I mean? Like, be one of those three. Be a good investor, but don't be dead. What? I'm joking. We're gonna go back to it. He goes, breaking news, PDAI may become deflationary and have utility in the near future. Katie admits 500K belongs to the PDAI community. That's what she said. And here, exactly what she said. She goes, first of all, that was less than 500K. Secondly, I already said at least 5 times where the funds were going. So effectively, she dumped the PDAI and then she bridged it out to use Tornado Cash, etc., aka providing initials for lending protocols and paying their audits. And third, we had enough of the wallet watchers making 5 tweets every time. Fair enough. Well, I hate people who wallet watch. Fair enough. Every time our wallet makes a move, so we're going to be working on other different wallets, hence the bridge. That's so funny. We already sent them 100k worth of Pulse and EDI to be used for their when they launch straight into the contract unowned by us. And I believe she's referring to, I forgot what it's called. I think it was called the Banker. It was the PAV fork. We're going to cover that in a second here. Removing the risk of us potentially using the interest to sell off over time. Anyways, so yeah, apparently she's going to use that money for the PDAI community. We shall see. And he goes, as you guys already know, the ESM was shut down. Yes, we know all of that. And she kind of dumped it -99. Yes, we covered all of that in a previous video. Yesterday, Katie spoke in live X Spaces and admits that the 500k belongs to the community. She also said that they plan on making a post-mortem after all funds have been distributed. This is where things get interesting. There's a protocol being built called BetterBank. BetterBank, which is PAVE or an AVE version 3 fork with improvements and tweaks. There is an agreement with Katie Surfacing and the XUSD team to bring this to life. Surfacing says the BetterBank coder is a docs dev that's very skilled. Essentially, this protocol will enable lending, borrowing for Pulse, PulseX, and most importantly, PDAI. They plan to provide initial deposit and burn it so nobody's able to remove the funds. If this happens, PDAI will become deflationary, but also have real utility. They say the goal is to bring builders to PulseChain. Depositors will earn interest for providing assets. In the X spaces, there were good concerns and counterpoints. Some of them include Maria has done nothing but extract, create shady, unverified contracts, hyperinflated to get the supply. Why should the community trust you guys and give more liquidity? Why were the funds moved through to Tornado Cash? And in her defense says, Katie responded along the lines of, we are not asking the community for liquidity, we are providing utility. Steps were done for privacy and obfuscating funds. Surfacing responded that the GitHub has all the contracts. Katie says, if you have the skills, you can decompile the contract, since that's what the EVM reads with 100% certainty when you know what it is. And here the company says the heavy ties into Atropa liquidity and that the contracts aren't verified, etc., etc. Saying the biggest risk is Maria, when Richard Hart may have labeled him as a final boss. Crazy. Surfacing admits that they knew the minting was happening. Yada yada yada. He goes, why didn't you look into it? And he just says basically, if he knew about the minting, why didn't you say anything? He just says that he didn't look into it. And then basically here, scrolling down, it goes, community asks if Surfacing, if he thinks Maria is benevolent, right? The opposite of malevolent, which is as in like, good. He replies that he is a docs dev and he does what he does. No opinion. He has good code and has been developing it. He has been transparent about minting ability on T-bill. Right? KT says he did what he needed to protect the funds. No funds have been bridged back yet, and nothing had been launched. Having a negative sentiment like this is an appropriate response. It's possible he bridges back. And his final thoughts here, this is Dirty Crypto, says burning is equal to the PAV version 3 BetterBank, makes PDAI deflationary. The minting would be from Atropa's liquidity web and treasury bill. Essentially, this is what you need to increase, reduce, and balance PDAI supply. Those are the functions that you need for a stablecoin to be a stablecoin. They mentioned the BetterBank is a skilled and a docs dev, which is good. Perhaps this is why we see Maria acting weird, streaming Scientology, blaming Somi, talking crazy about how a family rifle was stolen. Maybe he pulled LP and sold to protect the funds because of the extractors. Maybe it's a shakeout. I like the fact that Katie said they will do a postmortem report of what was done with the funds. She said the 500k belongs to PDAI community, so we shall see. Brings utility and deflation to PDAI. I prefer this than false narratives like Richard Hart is going to peg it to $1. I also like the fact that the possible bridge back and buying at a loss is possible for Maria. I don't know what the future holds for PDAI. Make sure you guys are following, and big shout out to Dirty Crypto. Absolutely, I'm following you, brother. Come on now. And then so that's the end of it, guys. I think honestly I don't need to kind of cover other things. Like for example here, there has been a new DEX, which, you know, big shout out to the people who created this. If I quickly show you guys here, there's a new kind of a liquidity DEX called PDAI. Some people were tying this to the 9-inch team. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, they implemented a P stable swap for the 3 P tokens, which is pretty cool right now, given 1% APR. Obviously that's nothing, but it's pretty cool to see that this is actually working. So would be even cooler if this was on PulseX. And then yeah, like in terms of other news, really, I think that kind of covers it of what's significant enough that I want to cover with you guys. We've talked about enough today. So I really hope you guys enjoy this. Okay, now my thoughts on this, guys, you already know. I've already made my decision. I'm holding my PWC, I'm holding my PDAI, I'm holding my core tokens, I'm holding my Dominance. Big shout out to Dominance. It's been printing me money as well. I'll talk about, you know, other ecosystems, etc. outside the core 7. That's what I like to call them, which is Pulse, PulseX, Hex, INC, eHex, and PDAI and PWC. I'm holding all 7. They're obviously the blue chips of PulseChain and then the core ecosystem. Now, of course, some people will say PDAI is no longer part of the core ecosystem. It's actually now core 6, understandably, but I'm going to keep it in core 7 for now because it's too soon. Well, because everything's down. So, of course, everything will seem like it's not the core token anymore. But I'm going to end the video there. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And again, if you want to learn more about crypto operations security, check out my course link in the description. Obviously this goes to supporting me, and yeah, you guys are absolutely amazing. Join my Telegram, link in the description. We got 1,400 members. If you have any questions, you know, join the Telegram. And guys, please be careful when you enter the world of Telegram. I will never message you first. My username is the one and only. No one can replicate my username, but please be careful. There are imposters out there. So you might see someone who has my profile picture, my name, but he doesn't have my username. Or you'll see other people who have my profile picture, my name, they'll have my username put in their bio. Okay, so the easiest thing to do is literally just go and speak to me on the group chat. Keep everything on the group chat. I will never ask you to click on a link. I will never ask you for your personally identified information. I'll never ask you to send me money. Okay, I'll never anything. I don't talk about projects outside the project that I talk about in these videos. I'm not going to do a pre-sale. I'm not going to launch a token. I'm not going to do anything, guys. Okay, so please be careful and really learn about the cybersecurity side of things. And listen, you know, if you really cannot afford this course, you can reach out to me. I will give you a free code, 100%. I will actually give you a free code as long as you really watch the course, because I want you guys to be safe until the next leg up so you can actually make money. Because the worst thing to hear is when someone is holding the right projects, but unfortunately they lose them, not because the project was a failure, but because they got hacked or got social engineered. So that it really is something that boils my blood. So please be careful when you enter the world of kind of Telegram. Okay, it can become dangerous. But I'm going to end the video there. You guys are absolutely amazing. And of course, if you're new to crypto in general, you can watch my other course, which is Learn Crypto, the Ultimate Guide. It's kind of theoretical, that talks about the different types of liquidity pools, the story of Ethereum and story of Bitcoin, and a little bit more in technical side of how the difficulty and the hash rate, what it actually means with the SHA-256, and the basically the prefix of how many leading zeros it should have, which equates to the difficulty, etc. Anyways, I'm going to end the video. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you soon. Give this video a like, comment down below, share with your crypto bros, and finally, but not least, a big shout out to the man above. Guys, remember, trust in the process and trust in God. Take care.